Guys. Hi, Chris. Hi, Maxine. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my live. Thanks for your support and thanks for joining me. I have a couple things I want to discuss this evening. One of which is this argument around Donegal and her cakes and the use of synthetic dyes in her cakes. I want to have a discussion on that. So, yes, Chris, you finally get to see me. Okay. So, let me start. Recently, there's been for a couple days now, there's been this talk online on social media about the use of, because it was specifically directed towards Donegal and the use of red 40 dye in her cakes. Now, the information that was given is good, but for me, I am of the school where when you're given information, it has to be precise and it has to be accurate. Okay? Now, the one thing I'm going to say, and let me state this specifically before I even go into the argument. I am not here seeking any friendship from Plancatarians or any friendship from Donegal or any friendship from anybody. But for me, when I'm going to use my platform on the basis that I am going to try to help to educate people, I have to give correct information that is not biased. And that's just who I am. Now, the argument was that Donegal has always been using red 3 dye and red 40 dye in her cake. And as such, the argument is out there that her cakes have been causing people to get cancer and, a lot of other illnesses. Now, for me, and this is not, I'm not coming from a place of opinion now. I'm coming from a place of facts. Fact number one, we cannot come out here and say that Donegal using red 40 or red 3 in her cakes cause people to get ill if we are not going to say that every baker in this country, every baker in Jamaica, if you go into the supermarket and you buy a cake, it has synthetic dyes in it. If you go to Cheesecake Factory, red velvet cake, it has dyes in it. People have to understand what it means when we say that something is banned and understand the protocol that follows when that thing is banned. Now, the one place where I'm going to fault Donegal is if she was indeed using red dye 3 or red dye 40 or any dye, because at the end of the day, whether it is 40, whether it is 3, whether it is yellow, whether it is blue, no matter what it is, all of these dyes are synthetic dyes which are petroleum based, meaning that all of these dyes are bad for us. But we have to understand the protocol that the FDA uses when it comes to banning dyes in what we take into our bodies. Okay? Now, the first part of this, I'm going to start with red dye 3. What brought this dye to the attention of federal organizations, not just here, but in other countries, was the fact that it was being used in makeup, in the lipstick, in the eyeshadow, in the stuff that you put on your face, blah, blah, blah. So when they did their research, they realized that mice, when they use these kind of dyes on mice, rats, whatever, they found that the rats, the mice, whoever the lab animals were, whatever, it gave them cancer and other issues. Red dye in synthetic dye in makeup has been banned here and some other countries since 1990. Now the question exactly, Chris, the yellow one and the red ones, I'm gonna get to that. Now I'm gonna show you guys a couple things, and let me say this to you guys. Where Donna Go's cake is concerned with her using the dye, like I said, it should have been on her label. If it is not, I get that, Maxine. If she's saying that she's not using it, she's wrong, point blank. I agree. But on the other spectrum, nobody can take her to court. Let's say, for example, I bought Donna Go's cake and I developed either cancer of the thyroid, cancer of the lungs, any kind of cancer. And I come to the understanding that it was the red dye in her cake that caused it. If I go to court, if I take her to court, the evidence that I have that it was her cake that caused it would be inconclusive. Inconclusive meaning I would not have enough evidence to back up that it is her cake that caused me to get the cancer. And here is why. I'm going to show you a few things that I have in my house that contains red dye 40. We just go with the red dye right now. Cheetos Puffs. This is one of them. Ducalox, which is a laxative, which is one of them. Hydrocodone cough syrup. Which is a prescription medication that I get for my cough. That's one of them. I'm just showing you a few. Omeprazole that we use for heartburn. This is one of them. These things here, I buy these. You use these to flavor. If you don't like just drinking the water by itself, you use these to flavor the water. These have red dye 40 in it. This Mucinex has blue dye in it. Country Time, this lemonade that we all buy, a lot of us buy it, has red dye 40 in it. Okay? This gum, chewing gum that we eat, has red dye 40 in it. And before I go any further, you know what's funny? I love chewing gum and I use icebreakers because they're sugar free. So when I buy gum, I am looking for the sugar free label. I am not going on the back here to read what the other ingredients are. All right? But here I find out this has in red 40, lake red blue, and blue 1. It also has as in aspartame, which is bad for you also. This Metamucil that a lot of us use for fiber. This Metamucil that a lot of us use for fiber also has red dye 40 in it. Cake mixes that we buy in the grocery store, every one of them, if it's not red, if it's not 40, it's yellow. If it's not red dye, it's yellow. If it's not yellow, it's blue. They all have these dyes in it. Smuckers, strawberry preserves, all of these have red dye in it, red dye 40 in it. Now, let me get to this medication, azithromycin, which is an antibiotic, has red dye 40 in it. And let me categorically state that every single medication, especially when it comes to cough medicine, for kids, red, blue, whatever it is, it has synthetic dye in it. This simple Benadryl Benadryl that we take for allergies has red dye in it. Okay? Kool-Aid, red dye 40 in it. Hot dogs, red dye 40. Cured bacon, red dye 40. Cured ham, red dye 40. Syrup, it's either red dye 40, blue, whatever the color is, that's the dye that's in it, right? Bigger Jamaican, bigger soda, every single one of them, if it is yellow, it have the yellow dye. If it is the fruit punch, it have the red dye, right? So we cannot come out here, and this is why I'm talking about when we're giving information, it cannot come from a biased place. It has to come from a place where we allow people to understand the danger, okay? Where we allow people, we can't just come out here. Everybody knows me is not a fan of Donna, right? But I am not going to come out here and say, like I said, where Donna go is wrong. Where she is wrong is when she refused to put on the label of her cakes that she used red dye 40. And she was wrong when she came out here. Hi, Kathy, my love. How you doing, sweetheart? She was wrong when she came out here and said, when she held up the bottle and said, it is all natural. It is not natural. Yes, Maxine. Sure, sweetheart. Let me give you the number. May have yet forget this number in my head. The number, Maxine, is 845-262-8653. Let me repeat it again. 845-262-8653. Let me turn on the speaker. Okay, come on now. Why you not? Okay. All right. Yes, Maxine. Feel free to call me, sis. You know you can call me. Let me hook up the phone to the box. Let me hook up the phone to the box. Give me 1 minute. Hold on, Max. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on, Max. Hold on, sweetheart. May I hook up the phone to the... Hold on. May I try hook up the phone to the speaker? Hold on, baby love. To the Bluetooth. Hold on. All right. Go ahead, Max.
Yes, the fact is this, Michelle, is not that we are not sitting off the kiwi every day.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike some of us, like myself.
Hold on, sis. Hold on, Max. Hold on, Max. Are you guys hearing Maxine? Is everyone...
Yes, I hear you.
Oh, okay, baby. Go ahead.
I'm saying, unlike some of us, like myself, don't go around looking at
labels
ingredients and what amount of this and what amount of
exactly
that.
Yes,
the fact that she can come out boldly for years and said it's natural, she even made fun of people who have coloring in their cake. And for her to sit there and tell us that the people are strange from the fact and the truth, We all know that the coloring is in there. We see now that it's in there. But the fact that you can say you never use it until a few days ago, that you run out to buy the 40 when you know the 40 shade and the 3 shade is 2 different shades. It's not the fact that there's something in there, Michelle.
And that's why I said, Maxine, that's why I said, Max, she was absolutely 100% wrong for that, especially when she came out and held up the bottle with the coloring and said that it is all natural ingredients. She's 100% wrong for that.
Michelle, do you know? I saw her. I take pictures. I have video calls where I called her and said, listen, stop using, I never know you were using strawberry applesauce into the cake then.
Right.
Whether it's fruit cake, whether it's sorrel cake or whatever. I have to call her and told her, stop using it because of allergies. I said it makes me sick. You cannot do that.
And you're absolutely right.
She agreed. I don't know if she stopped. So who's going to tell me if I go into court right now, I can't file a lawsuit against her?
No, Maxine, listen what I'm saying, sweetheart. Listen. Sometimes we have to listen. Listen what I try to say to you, sweetheart. I am not saying you cannot take her into court, because you absolutely can take her into court for falsifying the information that she put out and not putting out that she had that she used the dye in her cake. You absolutely can, and she can absolutely be fined for that, because it is the law. Yes, but what I am saying, the part that I am saying now, where I brought up the inconclusive argument, is this. Let us say, for example, you found out you had cancer, all right, and you found out that red dye could be particularly responsible for you having the cancer, and you know that you buy a cake from Donna and Donna put the red dye in the cake. If you decide to take Donna to court on the basis that it is the red dye that she put in the cake that caused you to have the cancer, that's where the inconclusive argument comes up, because
you want what? Me not cut you. Cut you. What if I told you my body is full of polyps?
Yeah.
And for you to be giving me something that contributes to what is going on in my body.
Yes.
You are responsible. You didn't give me whatever is in my body. But you are giving me
Maxine,
leaving you that you did not do that.
Hold on, Max. The part that I'm trying to let people understand is this. How are you going to prove? This is why I'm sure the things them in my house. Listen to the argument that I am saying. Again, I use Benadryl, which has in red dye. I drink Kool-Aid, which has in the red dye. There are a number of things I have in my house that I use that have in the red dye. If I buy Donna cake, which has in the red dye, and without me even taking up the Kool-Aid or the Benadryl and reading the back of it to see that it also has in the red dye, and I am saying to myself, it is Donna's cake because it has in the red dye that caused me to get this cancer, and I take her to court on that basis, that would be inconclusive evidence. Because if, let's say, for example, we go to the court, her lawyer is going to say to me, Miss Bradshaw, do you use Benadryl? Yes. Do you drink Kool-Aid? Yes. Do you use any kind of cereal, Kellogg's, any kind of cereal? Yes. Have you ever taken hydrocodone? Yes. Have you ever taken any over-the-counter medicine? Yes. Have you taken X, Y, and Z prescription medication? Yes. Do you know, Miss Bradshaw, that all of the things that I have asked you and you answered yes, are you aware that all of these things also have synthetic dyes in them, specifically red 40? So if you have taken in those substances into your body which contain the red 40, how can you then conclusively say that it is the dye in Donegal's cake and not the dye in the Kool-Aid, in the Benadryl, and all the other things that were listed that caused you to have the cancer? Do you see what I'm saying? That's why I am saying it's inconclusive evidence. You get what I'm saying, Maxine?
Me hear what you're saying.
Okay.
But what I'm saying to you, I would not go into the court saying that it causes me to have cancer.
Okay.
I'm going into the court telling you I know I am sick. But because you told me that nothing, because all what I see you showing on Michelle, I don't take none of those.
Okay.
So I have more than one person who know they're sick. They know they're sick, and they know they're not supposed to consume certain things. But if you look at me and tell me that it's not in there, and then a couple years down the line, you're going to tell me you was
she's 100%. She is 100% wrong for that. You have yes, and this is why I'm saying you can take her to court for that. That's why I said she is 100% wrong, because even when she came out and said with the bottle with the food coloring and said this is 100% natural, she can actually go to jail for that, because that is information, that is misinformation, misinforming her consumers. Because when she come out here and hold up a bottle of red dye 40 red food coloring and say to her supporters, this me not use red dye 3, me use this red dye 40 and it is 100% natural, that's a lie. So she can be held liable for it.
That shouldn't even come out.
Exactly.
Number one, you know damn well you tell everybody that you did not have it in there. And people keep saying, oh, she have a label. No, I have up to last year's label, and that was not on there.
And that's where I'm saying she is 100% wrong for that. But the point I was trying to make, because when the argument becomes that it is her kid, because let me tell you something, and this is the argument I'm trying to put across. The focus has been on red dye 40 alone and red dye 3. The focus
all of them.
Exactly, and that. And that is it. Now here is the problem where it gets tricky. The FDA came out and said they have banned red dye 3, but red dye 3 is still being used in products here, and this is why I said people have to understand how these protocols work. For example, Kellogg's whole brand of cereal, that is a cereal where everybody love. The one where them say follow the rainbow with the only marshmallow in it and all of them something there. The majority of Kellogg's cornflakes having these synthetic dyes, especially red dye 40, and they're still using red dye 3. What Kellogg's has signed an agreement to is saying by 2027 they would have phased out all of this. Now, where the FDA is wrong, because when the FDA is going to come out and say that they have banned red dye 3 and banned red dye 40, but companies still have up until either the end of 2026 or the end of 2027 to formulate.
Take off it completely.
Exactly, and that is what is not happening. So my point is this: if we come out and we say we are going to boycott, let's for example, we say we are going to boycott Dana cake because it's having the red dye, we would have to boycott cake we buy from the grocery store, cake we buy from other grocery, drinks in the supermarket. We cannot just come out here and say ban Dana go cake. We have to be unbiased in our arguments and say ban everything and everybody. You get what I said to you? And we also have to understand that while the FDA can regulate things here, the FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration, can regulate things here, every country have different standards. Because, for example, in India, where the production of foodstuff is slower and it's cheaper, and them not have certain up to grade things because of the poverty in the country, they are still using red dye 3 and they will not stop using it. And the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration here, has not laid out a plan to say to American consumers, we are going to ban everything that is coming in from India, from China, and other countries that Americans are taking in, because they have not decided to stop putting these synthetic dyes into their food. So it is not what I am trying to put out here is not something that it's an overnight process, that because we hear say it ban. You hear when no look these dyes, Max, what they found out 100% is the cancer, and it was causing all kind of illnesses, especially in children. Now when we take a look at cereal, we know some most picky and that them love them cereal. So the job of the FDA.
I love Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms. That's the one. That's the one I was thinking about. I love Lucky Charms. Right? Exactly. So if the science has proven that these products contain products that are harming adults and children, then there shouldn't be an extension until 2020, the end of 2027 or the end of 2028 to get rid of these products. These products, the FDA should have regulated it, that they let all of these companies that are producing these things and still using it, you have to do this right now. You not have no extension till 2027. You not have no extension till 2028. It is dangerous. It has to be done right now. And that's my point. That's the point I am trying to make, because we cannot just come out. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I agree with you 100%. That the fact, because she dug a hole for herself because Donna, I don't think a lot of times Donna realized that she's not in Jamaica anymore where she can get away with certain things. She's in America. I don't think she realized that when she come out in America and hold up a bottle of red food coloring and say, this is red dye 40 and it is natural, that she has placed a lawsuit on herself right there. She has placed a legal claim on herself right there, because you are giving your consumers misinformation. Because based on the facts that she come and say red dye 40 is all natural and nothing, basically she has said nothing can happen to you, because that was the point of it. She can be sued for that. Because it is not natural. It is simple.
My argument is
exactly.
That's my argument, my opinion, and everything.
Right.
In the first place, you should not even accept the fact that you have red dye in here. No, sir.
Exactly.
The whole thing is, you said it's natural. You're not putting in no dye.
And she was wrong for that. I will give her 100% wrong for that.
Say an excuse would be, oh, I'm using red dye 40, I'm using red dye 50, I'm using red dye 60. Point blank period, you're not supposed to say no dye way in there.
What she should have done, in my opinion, and this is where I give my opinion, she should have come out and said, guys, I would like to apologize for the fact that I used red dye 3, I used red dye 40 and gave you the wrong information. I was not aware. I was not aware because other bakers were using it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's all she had to do.
She literally put it in there to kill us all. I think she do not know the danger that it was, and she eventually used it. Just come out and say, well, you know, I'm sorry that I used it. Or whatever. Don't be wrong and strong.
Yes, because you can't be wrong.
Eat it because they eat everything else, what have every other color and stuff like that. That's my point.
Yeah, you can't be wrong. You can't be wrong and strong on issues like this. But like I said again, Max, my point is when it come to the cancer issue, because I heard an argument where it was said that her cakes are killing people and whatever. All I am saying is that to take her into court on the basis that it is the dye in her cake that is causing people to have cancer or X or Y, that would be seen as inconclusive evidence, because the majority of the things that we are putting into our body, which includes prescription medication, because this hydrocodone is a controlled substance. I have to get a prescription for this. And it has in red dye 40, right? So, Donna, the best thing, honestly, I agree with you, Annalie White. I don't think she knows the difference. And to be honest with you,
I don't think she knows the difference.
A lot of people...
Because if she did, she would never come out and show her product. Double D.
But you know the truth is... The truth, is, Maxine, is a lot of people did not know. A lot of people did not know. And like I said, when the information came out, it was good information. But we can't just make the information sit down around Dana go. If we are going to inform the people them, we have to inform the people them say it's not just red food coloring alone is bad for you. All of them, because all of them are made from petroleum. As a matter of fact, even the very Vaseline that people are using is dangerous and it should have been banned, but it is not. And this is why them tell you, say, when people are use Vaseline, no put it in your mouth. No make it go in your mouth or no make it go near, where you inhale it and such. And it's
Michelle, I am so glad that this is out.
Yes.
Look at Vaseline. I put Vaseline in my mouth all the time.
You're not supposed to.
I never know all of them something that
yes,
put in my mouth all the time and not even look on it to see.
It's petroleum. It's petroleum.
That Caribbean bring out this thing because nobody really
looked at it.
Thinks them what they really eat.
Exactly.
Yes, but I mean, everything is getting lost in between.
Yeah, I am not.
Remain. We all have to be mindful of what we put in our mouth.
Exactly.
We never know all of that. And like I said, I don't think she knew. They're just ignorant to the whole thing.
And like I said, her Caribbean Spice, she's not a fan of mine. She's not a friend of mine. But her bringing it up was very good. But my point is we have to go further than the red dye. We have to let people know it's not just about Donegal and Donegal's cake.
No, it's not.
Exactly.
The people them out there make it be like, oh, it's just her cake, it's just her cake. No.
Yeah, and because see somebody
like slap on the wrist like it's okay because she did have it in there already.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
That it's not there. I believe you. I eat it. I eat it because you
and she was 100. Because see somebody just saying she didn't know that about Vaseline. Yes, Vaseline. Let me tell you what the problem really is.
I know nothing about me. Never know about the Vaseline. And you know that. Tell me about the Vaseline.
Let me tell you guys.
Vaseline me live by Vaseline.
And we put Vaseline on our lip as lip gloss. The issue here is, and this is why I say people have to understand what the issue is. The issue is all of these products have petroleum in them. And it is the petroleum that is the problem. Right? That is what people need to understand. It is, because I don't just...
My diet is already hard to keep being a diabetic. Very, very hard. Now you know how hard it is right now with everything what me hear you come out with, Caribbean Spice come out with. It's like, oh God, I give up. Yeah, it's... Vaseline is something what me use every day.
I use it on my lips.
Take a shower. I oil my foot with it.
I use it on my lips. I use it on my lips. And what I'm saying, what Caribbean Spice came out with was very good because it sent me to go do my own investigation. And I am shocked at what I am finding out, because when me find out, is that pretty much everything when me put in my body, that I put into my body, every single thing. So it was good that she brought it up, but my argument is
it was great.
It was great. But let us not leave it at Donegal's cake alone. And I am going to share because it's not just these red dye and things, I am going to share a personal experience with you guys. And when I came out years ago and I spoke about this, and some people take it and say I can't breathe or whatever. But you see, sometimes as women we have to, because a lot of people were educated and a lot of people had the same problem when I spoke about it. In 2007, I started having really bad fibroids, right? I mean periods. When I went to the doctors told me I had bad fibroids. I had to have a partial hysterectomy. Now with the partial hysterectomy, they leave the 2 ovaries, all right? After,
me too.
Wait, but listen to this story now. After I had the hysterectomy, about a couple months after the hysterectomy, I started having really bad pain on my left side, right? I went back to the gynecologist. She told me that I had ovarian cysts on the left ovary. But what they do, they keep measuring it, because once it gets to a certain measurement, then they think it's a tumor. I kept going. Eventually, they sent me to the cancer center, right? Mm-hmm. Because it was growing out of control. They were afraid to do any more surgeries, because the surgery that I did with the hysterectomy, I had scar tissues. So my gynecologist told me that it is hard for them to go do any more surgery, because the scar tissues cover up a lot of body parts, that they could cut by accident or whatever. So anyway, they sent me to the cancer center. When I went to the cancer center, the doctor there did let me do some tests and whatnot. He came to the conclusion that what I have wasn't just ovarian cysts, it was called inclusion cysts. Now, inclusion cysts are sacs that form in your body and collect fluid. Now, if these fluid, if the cyst erupts, you can die. So what I had to do was, every month, I had to go to the cancer center, and what the doctor would do is use a syringe. You see, just like if you get swelling in your knee or water in your knee, and then use a syringe and draw out the water, that's what he had to do. But then it got to the point, the pain got really bad. So they decided that they were going to remove the ovary with laser, right? And that's what they did. Now, following up to that, I was speaking to a friend of mine. As a matter of fact, the cancer doctor he asked me, where was I from? I said I was from Jamaica. And he said to me, there is a research that is going on in Florida. And what doctors here are finding out is that a lot of women from the Caribbean, good evening everybody, a lot of women from Africa who immigrate to the USA are turning up with these inclusion cysts. And they are trying to figure out what is causing it. He told me about the center in Florida. I called a friend in Florida who actually had somebody who worked at the center. And what she said to me was, well, what we have come to the conclusion is the main thing that is causing, the main thing, underlying thing that we can put a finger on and say that is causing this episode in women from the Caribbean and women from Africa, so it was mainly black women who immigrate to this country, was the antibiotics that they were putting in chickens. I said, what? She said, yes. And surprisingly, somebody who grew up in the same community with me, she had the same problem, right? And she told me it was my information that got her to realize what was going on with her. So, what it comes down to is not even only what I'm trying to say here is not only even the dye where them are putting a food, but the very things, other things where them are putting a food, antibiotics and all of these things are causing a lot of issues within.
Yes, it does.
Yes, so because this is why, Michael Manley, and I'm not trying to get political here, but when the Honorable Michael Manley said we should grow what we eat and eat what we grow, he was 110% correct. Because if you notice, Max, when we grew up in Jamaica, when the elderly people, especially the man them in them 70 and 80, them still go a bush same way, right? We never see so many of our people getting sick with diabetes, high blood pressure, hypertension, and all of these things, right? But because now the society has it where they are forcing these things into the products that we are taking into our body, it is very serious. It is very serious. You still there, Max?
Michelle, listen, I'm allergic to codeine. When I go to the doctor about 2 years ago, And I every time I go, I tell them, listen, I'm allergic to codeine. They put on the band on my hand and everything. Well, you know, said the same hospital prescribe oxycodone.
There you go.
And I didn't even read it, Michelle.
There you go.
I didn't even read it to see that it's oxycodone they're giving me. I am so glad for the pain pill that I did not even read the damn thing.
There you go.
When I come home and I take the pill, I realize that I'm getting sick and sicker. And I'm like, when I finally look at it, I have to rush back to the same hospital.
Hi, Fiona. Yes.
Hospital, so Mr. Michelle, you have no idea what me have to go through.
But I understand, Maxine, because I go through this.
Oh, it's not codeine, it's not codeine.
I go through the same thing.
Family.
I go through the same thing. And you know what the problem with that is? When I was a child in Jamaica, you had one doctor that you would go to for everything. Now it is not so because of lawsuits and everything. So let's say you have your primary care doctor, but if you have asthma, he has to refer you to an asthma doctor. If you have diabetes, he must refer you to a diabetic doctor. And you see, as a result, because I go through the same thing too, and what I learned to do now, because I get medication that when I read every medication me get now, me make it my point of duty to read when me can take with it and when me can't take with it. And I have come to notice that even my primary care doctor is giving me medication that I am not supposed to take because I am taking other medications, right? Because a lot of them now spend the time to deal with that part of it. So this is why now people have to take it up in them and do them thing for themselves. And this is one of the reasons why I do my own investigations.
People don't know, Michelle. You know, yes. A lot of Jamaicans don't read this, don't read that, do not know this, do not know that. Let me give you another example. I went to the doctor. I have sleeping apnea, right?
I do too.
I'm not supposed to be sleeping alone. Can't sleep, develop insomnia because I had to sleep in like 3 days. Well, you know, send me go there, the people then give me sleeping pills to take. So I'm like, is that lucky thing you know your medication them? And I'm gonna say, are you guys crazy?
But Maxine,
you give somebody who have sleeping apnea.
Maxine, your doctor, your primary care doctor, because if you have sleep apnea, you're supposed to do a sleep study for them to figure out.
I do.
Well,
I do. I have machine and everything.
Oh, you have the CPAP. You have the CPAP machine.
Yeah.
Well, you use it.
Use me behind?
No, you should use it. Use it. I have the same problem, but I use my CPAP.
The old thing is that I went to a new doctor and you're going to prescribe sleeping pill for me. That doesn't make any sense. No. And that sometimes... make no sense at all.
Sometimes...
One thing is, I'm glad that Caribbean Spice came out because there's so many things.
Yes. There's
a lot of things that I was doing. Come and stop them when you rub on your body. Here, you know, don't tell me no. Vaseline, what do they use for the DME band?
Because it's petroleum. Because even
Vaseline every day.
Ruby Brown. Telecom powder, the CM powder, Johnson baby powder, and whatever. We parents them I use power. It has been found out that the telecom in the powder can cause cancer. As a matter of fact, I think at some point baby powder, I don't remember if it was banned or if it was just the one in the telecom.
Baby powder,
telecom in and them I use it from where baby grew up in Jamaica. Right? So let me practically everything out there, and this is one of the reasons why I'm telling people say exactly, Fiona.
Come might be somebody else one call. Let me go into the chat.
All right, sweetheart, and thanks for your call.
Thank you for having me, Michelle.
Always, Max. Always, my love. Always. Thank you, sweetheart. And Fiona, you're 100% right. The animals here are being raised with lots of hormones. But do you also know that there's a chicken farm right now in Jamaica? And it's on the way to, if you're going through Rockall to go to that place where you call Sligoville, there's a chicken farm on that road. Some people drive that road when they're going to Ochi and Montego Bay. There's a chicken farm on that road. And at that chicken farm, they are raising chickens that literally have no heads. Okay? When I heard about it, and I said, no, that cannot be true. And when I went to Jamaica in 2013, I think, I actually visited that place. Yes, it's if you're driving through Rockall to go to Sligoville or to go to Montego Bay, to go to Ocho Rios, because sometimes people who don't want to go over Flatbridge, they go that direction. I don't know if it's still there because this was in 2013 when I made it to when I visited Jamaica. I heard about it and I said that cannot be true. That cannot be true. And I heard that a lot of the chickens that were coming from that farm was being used by KFC and by what's this other chicken place they had in Jamaica? The guy who owned it died. Kenny Rogers chicken. Yes, headlet. They were on a. I don't know how to explain it. They did not have any heads. I swear to you guys, I am not lying. They did not have any head. All they had was the body part, and they were just on the machine going, whatever. I don't know if the farm is still there, but it is on the road. Like I said, if you're going through Rockall and you're going through Sligoville, if anybody here that's from that area might know about it and know if it is still there. And they said that farm supplied KFC and supplied Kenny Rogers restaurant that he had in Jamaica with chickens, right? I saw that one for myself. But my whole point of this, guys, is that I am glad Caribbean Spice brought up the situation because it has opened up a lot of our eyes. But my point with all of this is that we must not, Donna Go is only responsible for the fact that she misinformed the consumers. But to directly say that her cakes and her cakes alone cause cancer, we cannot say that because some people have been saying that, right? And if we are to take her to court, it has to be on the basis of misinformation, not on the basis that it was her cakes and her cakes alone that caused people to get sick or whatever, because that would be inconclusive evidence. Because there's a lot of things I did not know. When I did my investigation, I'm gonna find out it's simple Benadryl allergy. Simple Benadryl allergy having die. Simple gum having die. Antibiotic having die. Right? And like I said, we also have to understand how the FDA works, and I understand that the FDA can't just say 100% to these manufacturers on if stop right now, because it is going to take time for them to find replacements and whatnot. But at the same time, the fact that a lot of these products are still out there, hot dogs, cured bacon, ham, sorrel, soda, everything, you name it, the basic cereal, you name it, is harming ourselves and our children. The cake them are baking at the supermarket, the very cake mix where you take up off of the shelf and buy, right? The very cake mix that you take up off the shelf and buy has in these synthetic dyes. And what is sad is that a lot of these products are going to be on the shelves up until 2028. And the Food and Drug Administration has not yet leveled a ban against countries like India, against countries like China that put these synthetic dyes in their makeup, in the makeup that they make, in the food that even in the food that they're importing into this country and other countries. Now there's another issue too, and this is why I have come to a place where I wear my ear natural, because even the braids that our women are using in their hair are toxic. I was shocked when I heard that. The very braid where you go at the store, go buy for braid your hair, it is toxic. And that the toxicity from those braids are causing certain kind of brain damages in women, because you know when you braid your ear, you're keeping the braids for long. Right, so there's a lot of things, and this is why I said people we need to go and research things. We need to go and read. We need to go and understand. And like Maxine said, it was a good thing that Caribbean Spice brought that out. I applaud her for doing that, but it must not just be around. If we want people to understand what we're trying to say and it cannot just be around Donegal and Donegal cake. It has to be a wider picture. We have to paint the wider picture of exactly what is happening and get people to the understanding that the basic hot dog, look at hot dog, that we give to our children, that we eat ourselves, right? The basic hot dog, bacon, all of these things have these synthetic things in it that is bad for our bodies, right? So again, what I fault Donegal for is the fact that she was not honest, and she did not find it within herself to come out and apologize, because like Maxine said, rightfully so, you cannot be wrong and strong at the same time. You come out, you say to your audience, guys, yes, I did use the red food coloring, I just did not know, because a lot of people did not know, right? A lot of people did not know. I myself, me not look upon them something, because like me said, this, when me go buy gum, me not look behind yourself to see what in the gum. You know what me I look for? The part where say sugar free, right? That's the part I am looking at, right? So we need to keep, that's so right, Fiona, especially in India, they don't do things healthy there, so that's a fact. But Jamaica itself, because Jamaica, a lot of Jamaican products, the majority of Jamaican products have things in it, because now you see the problem with a lot of these things, we're in an era now where there is competition. Right? And I like when we are little picnic and I grow and we have this company, we deal with that, and we go with grandfather and we great grandfather, whatever, go a bush and them dig yam and them things they come give, we go downtown and we buy the yam, and we know say the yam staying at the ground till it ready. We know say if we go buy the chicken, we know say them now kill the chicken before the chicken ready to get killed, and them something. Now, because of competition, it is not so anymore. And this is why so many people are turning up with cancer, diabetes, and all other products. But at the same time, we're in an era where information is at our fingertips, and as such, we need to inform ourselves, because like Maxine even said, medication, me depend this medication and that medication, and my primary care doctor, who is supposed to be aware of what I can or cannot take, because he is my primary care, give me medication that go against another medication where him already give me. And if me not sit down and read the label for myself and go, I wouldn't know it, and I would have taken it just the same. And we have to also look at the chicken. We need to make sure that when we're buying chicken, it's free range chicken, meaning chicken where them not raised on antibiotic. Because like I told you guys my story, and when I shared it, when I learned that I think it was in 2020. 23, I don't remember when it was, where the Prime Minister of Jamaica was planning to import chicken into Jamaica, and I shared the story again on my Facebook page, right? So we have to be, and it's very hard to be careful, because you go in the supermarket and you will see chicken and it's a free range chicken. It's not free range chicken, it's still chicken with antibiotics in it, right? So we don't even sure, to be honest, we don't even sure where we are put in our body, right? So, but we just have, and it's a good thing that the awareness was brought out about the dyes and whatnot. So because it gives us the momentum now to try to investigate things, because now they're trying to go, and you see smokers. I have this strawberry preserve that I use, and I realize when I read the back of it, what smokers does, they use red grape juice for color. So they don't use any dye. And there's things like, exactly in it, demand and supply as well. But things like turmeric, beetroot, these are the things that people now need to start using, for to color, to bring color to their products. And so again, Donegal was wrong and is still wrong, and I still think she has time to come out and say, guys, I am sorry, I was misinformed and I gave you the wrong information, and I apologize for that. But yes, my food, my cakes did contain X, Y, and Z, and from now on I will label it. When I label my cakes, I will make sure to put it in the label, because you are in America, Donna, and you can be taken to court for misinformation, because this country, and I'm not attacking her, I am just making everyone aware, this country will, when it comes to certain things, they can either charge you, give you jail time, or charge you a fine. All right. So now that we finished that one, and Maxine, I thank you so much for calling in, my sister. Now, the next topic I would like to touch has to do with mental health. And I realized that a lot of Jamaicans, they don't even know what mental health means. And they don't even understand when somebody is suffering from trauma, and they don't even understand how some people, how their childhood shaped them to be the person they are now. And I'm going to speak specifically now to Rosalie and Rosalie's behavior. And I am asking that no one come on here and bash her, because this is not a bashing Rosalie issue. Okay, this is an issue I think we need to bring to the forefront, and we need to address it the way it needs to be addressed. And we need to have some kind of empathy, not just for Rosalie, but for many other Rosalies out there who are not even aware what is going on with them. Now, the other night, maybe 2-3 nights ago, I don't remember which night exactly it was, there was an argument that Rosalie beat her mother and, blah, 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 and whatever, and she came under attack, right? And I am not 1 minute or 1 moment going to justify a child putting their hand on the parent. But at the same time, there is something that says, parents provoke not your children to wrath. Now, I have watched Rosalie and Rosalie's behavior, and I have heard Rosalie tell a story about her childhood. And what a lot of people need to understand, there is a song that says, children learn what they live, and children live what they learn. If you do not teach a child how to love, a child cannot love. If you bring a child up on abuse, that child is going to turn around and be abusive. Not many people are able to break the cycle, because not many people are even willing, Marcia, not many people are even willing to admit that they have an issue. When I heard Rosalie's story, where Rosalie spoke about her childhood, at age 14, she had to be fending for herself. Her mother did not even buy a uniform to give her. She had to go out and hustle so she could get, uniform to send herself to school. Her story is very sad. And what a lot of people are not realizing, that Rosalie's bullyism behavior is a defense mechanism for her, because she does not know how to behave differently. And if there is nothing in Jamaica that answers these issues and answers these issues in positive ways. Because if you have a mental issue and you decide to go get help, you are seen as being crazy. You are seen as being mad. Not all of us grew up in loving homes. My mother, her nickname for me when I was a child was Punkus Nunkus. Okay? I was a very spoiled child because I was an only child. Right? So I know what love is, because I grew up with love. I grew up with people, aunts, cousins, grandmother, mother's friends, people in the neighborhood who showed me love. So I knew what love is. I did not have to go out there as a child and fend for myself. My mother did that, right? And she made sure that her only child was comfortable. When you hear Rosalie's story, and to be honest with you, the actions from Rosalie's mother tells me that she also comes from a situation where she herself does not know any better. Because if as a mother, you are presenting yourself to social media and you present yourself as tight old Laverne, that says a lot about her as a person, because as a mother, you are going to present yourself as a mother, not only as a mother, as a woman, and you're going to present yourself as tight old Laverne. So basically, your focus is on your whole, right? So that alone tells that this woman is also coming from a situation where she does not know better. Right? So because she, the mother, don't know better, she don't know better for sit with that her child, that Rosalie is hurting. I saw a video, and I don't remember a clip. I don't even remember where I saw it, but it was a clipping of Rosalie. I think I remember, and I want to play it so you guys can hear it. This is where she broke down to her mother crying. And you could hear the pain. Let me see if this is where I saw it. You could hear hold on. You could hear the pain in her voice when she broke down. And I had tears. I had tears in my eyes. I'm trying to see if listen, I want you to listen to this. This is part of her telling her story, and I want you guys to listen. Give me a minute. Let me turn it. Give me one. And excuse the language, but sometime, no, Fiona, I'm not going to say she's playing victim. I am not going to agree with that at all. I am not going to say she's playing victim, because hurt people hurt people. I agree that a lot of things that she does is not right, but you have to understand where she is coming from. And people like Rosalie are not quick to admit that they have a problem, because they do not realize they have a problem. I want you guys to hear this. This is when this is a let me show you. This is a clip of Rosalie hugging her mother, and I want you guys to listen to this. I want you to listen. Oh God! My crash out. Mother the world. Oh God! My crash out. And that was her hugging. That was her hugging her mother, and her mother hugging her, right? A lot of things that Rosalie does and says is not right, but we have to understand her hurt and we have to understand her pain. Rosalie does not know a mother's love. Women are meant to be nurturers. I agree, both of them need help because the mother herself cannot give to Rosalie what she herself did not get. But the problem is they need help. But where are they going to go to get that help? And at what? Because you see, in order for people to get help, they have to realize they need help. Right? And Jamaica is not a country where people take the issue of mental health and these issues seriously. And I'm going to give you one example. There's a woman on social media, and I am still trying to understand why this woman is still allowed to do this. There's a woman on social media that calls herself Miss Ellis. And there are these two people, Karen and Sean. And this woman take these two people. You want the number, Fiona? 845-262-8653. This woman take Karen and Sean and do nothing more than make puppet show, right, of them. And people sit and people look and people laugh. And I am saying to myself, a grown woman who I think she actually works in the hospital. Your capability not tell us what you do to them two people here wrong. 845-262-8653. Don't tell you. And we see it on social media. There's another girl on social media named Sheena. Right? And we see this boy, him take her and him make a puppy show and he's making money. Right? There are people who are doing this and nothing is done to protect these people who have mental issues, right? And it is a very sad situation. And it is not only that, Rosalie is also suffering from trauma. She is suffering from trauma. That clip that I just played is a clip of her hugging her mother. Maybe that was the first time the mother hugged her. Thank you, Jude. This I think, and I am going to make it my point of view because I know that woman works at a hospital here in America, and somebody needs to let the hospital know what this woman named Miss Ellis is doing, because when you take these two people, you are 100% wrong for what you are doing, Ellis, right? You literally taking Sean and Karen and making a payday off of them because Facebook a pay you, whoever else a pay you for these two people who don't even realize that they have mental issues. You take them and make puppy show off of them, and you're wrong for that. And you shouldn't in an hospital or work because it shows you do not have compassion. And you have to have compassion to deal with sick people. Because if you in a hospital or work, whether you work as nurse, whatever the hell you in a hospital or work as, you should know that what you are doing to Sean and Karen is wrong. Wrong. But back to Rosalie. Because, I have been watching her. And that girl is in pain. She is in pain. Una notice the difference with her when she think this boy, when me know for a fact only a user, this youth when name Akeem. Una notice when she feel within herself that this boy cared about her, how she became a much softer person because this is what she want. And you know the thing when I can't understand, I see a lot of you women out here, and this is why I say some of una woman, una Jamaican woman, una make the society become the garbage that it is. Because una take up our baby father when named Jakes. The whole I wanna sit down and see that boy abuse her. When you hear about the abuse when him abuse her, I wanna sit down and wanna take him and make a king out of him on social media. I wanna not looking at myself and say, no, we can't take somebody like this and take him and make a king. Him is a germs. And Una sit down, and the minute Rosalie come out and crash out, una jump on her. When una ready, when una not cuss her about her behavior, una cuss her about her weight. This big dirty cow, this big dirty this. How do you all think she feels inside? Una know, said there was a life where this girl do. When they took away the kids and she was so lonely, she literally tell the people them on the live, say she go sleep on the live because she don't want to be by herself. Rosalie wants love. And this is why the dirty boy Akeem can use her to make money, because she thinks that he genuinely loves her and care about her. When common sense is going to tell us that he does not. And this is the story with a lot of women, right? They're not getting any love. That's why a lot of women stay in abusive relationships, because there are women who actually think that if a man don't beat them, the man don't love them, right? There's a lot of people who behave that way. And I heard something that Ivani said towards Rosalie's kids, and I said to myself, you are so wrong for that. Ivani came out and said, I know. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make you hear it for yourself. And I said to myself, it's not just Rosalie alone that need help. A lot of our women are in need of help, because for a mother to come out and say this about another person's children, something is wrong with you. I am trying to find the thing, if I can find the thing where she said this girl actually come out and say she no want Anna Rosalie them for shoot a Rosalie picking them, and you have a child and you let something like that come out of your mouth. So it's a society problem where we have our young people nowadays where I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to see if I can find, because when I heard that thing that Ivani said, tears came to my eyes. I thank you, Chris. Ivani herself is very damaged. Yes, she's damaged. She's very damaged, right? And when me see, when me see some people where claim say them use, me see this woman on social media, me never call her name, because she claims say she used to be counselor and whatnot, but your actions speak otherwise, because you claim say you were a counselor, and at the same time you go look upon Rosalie and call her a pig and call her a hog, and you was counseling people, but at the same time you not have the counseling thing in you. I can't find the thing with Ivani, but let me leave that alone. You are going to look upon this girl and talk about why the mother not put this pig out her house. As somebody you claim say you're a counselor, your first job as a counselor, you should realize that this girl need help. But if you come out and you disrespect your husband by your life and you claim say you're sick, so me not expect better from you. But as a big greyback woman, you feel do better. Because if you say you're a counselor and you're this and that, then common sense will tell you say you should be able to see when somebody need help. You don't bash somebody when them need help for views and likes. No. But if you can come out here day after day while you lay down on your back in your bed sick and disrespect the husband constantly, well, look after you, then you're worse than Rosalie. Me not have to call her name because everybody know who she is. You are worse than Rosalie. So me not know what kind of counseling you did I do, because you need counseling yourself. Because if me in my house and me up on my sick bed and me have a husband and look after me, no care how much him I do where him not do exactly what me want him to do, I would thank God. That woman is ungrateful and vile. And you have women, and this is the thing women understand. You have women who sit on these people's platform and give them forward. We need to realize when our people are crying out for help. As women, we are supposed to be nurturers. We are supposed to understand when somebody is crying out for help. Rosalia cry out for help. Ivania cry out for help. The whole of them cry out for help. And their escape is TikTok. Right? Thank you, Marston. Of course, Ivani is worse than Rosalie, but a lot of people won't say that. When I heard Ivani say, what she said was, and a Rosalie them for shot. She no want them shot Rosalie, or Rosalie picking them for shot. And you have a child in your house? You have a child, a baby in your house, and you are going to say that about somebody else's children? And at the end of the day, you're there all over the place at show out your front to man, to some little boy when I have nothing for offer you. And you don't realize that you is just as sick or even worse as sick than Rosalie. But you want to see this TikTok and this tactic and this whatnot where the whole of them are sell them soul for a little money. That is the problem. That is the problem. Rosalie needs love. Rosalie needs someone to sit down and talk with her and bring down that wall that she has built around her. Because that is what she has done. She's hurting so much. Again, Mina says she was right for lick her mother. She was 100% wrong to do that. But so, you ever show called, Jesus, what them call the show? Jesus. It's about women and who live with men, and then when the women them can't take it no more, the show is called Snapped. Tracy, let me explain something again. You are saying Rosalie can help herself if she wants to. First, she needs to love herself first and get counseling. Then she can be a better person than a mother to her children. If she does not realize, that's the name of the show, Snapped. Tracy, in order for people to get help, they have to realize that they need help. I do not think Rosalie realizes that she has a problem. And there is also the issue that in Jamaica, the way Jamaicans deal with mental issues, with trauma, it becomes where you're literally somebody to be laughed at, somebody to be scorned, right? So even if she realized that she needs the help, she's probably afraid to go and get it because of what she think John Q. Public or John P. Public is going to say. And that is the problem. She cannot love herself if she don't know how to love. She don't know what love is. So she can't love herself because she does not know what love is. Nobody nurtured her growing up. And like me and you were probably growing up in a home where grandmother hug with, mother hug with, family hug with. She does not know that. The clip that I played a while ago was a clip where she was hugging her mother. And you can hear the girl literally break down. So we have to understand it takes more than just her realizing that it takes more than just her loving herself. She does not know what love is. You guys ever listen to the way she talked to her daughter? Her daughter call her, "Wow, where you want?" And I'm not saying she doesn't love her child, but that shows us that is the kind of life that she is used to. That's the kind of life she's used. And if the cycle is not broken, her daughter is going to come and behave in the same manner if God blesses her with children. So I am saying here, we need to be, rather than laughing at her, cursing her. I see some woman come out on them platform, Rose use a bad, what's it, Nathan, rate. And what do you think you are all doing when you behave like that? Exactly, Jude. Just like addicts that don't know they need help, Right? When me see some woman come out here and them use the issue and them go on, you what's sitting at you, big fat argue this and that, and then of course Rosalie see that. Rosalie is going to turn around and react to that. How is that helping the situation? You not come out here, you have on a platform, you not come out and say, boy, Rosalie, you know, X, Y, and Z. Call Rosalie and say, you know, may you go to dinner and make us sit down and talk. Because that's what she needs. And the sad thing is, the friends and the people that she surrounds herself with are not the friends and the people who understand what is going on with her. So they can't help her because them not understand where are going with she. Because the friend who she have named Daima, not understand where really are going with Rose. And so when everybody else come out and bash her, and so she will come out and say, yes, Rose, me did one, yes, but she herself does not understand what is going on with Rose. And my heart breaks for her because I have seen, and let me say this, you know. Let me say this, you know. You see, people like Rosalie, it gets to a point when they really snap, and them not only hurt people, them end up hurting themselves. Right? They end up hurting themselves. Because what the brain is telling them, what they are hearing in them head. Can you imagine a child? Can you imagine a child at the age of 14? When me are 14, me I play jacks, me I play dandy shandy. At that child at the age of 14 having to go out there on the streets selling peanut or whatever just to get some money so that they can go and buy a school uniform for themselves. It is a sad situation. Right? And Genevieve, you see the thing is, you see this free money. This free money where them a get on TikTok and where them a get on YouTube and where them a get on Facebook, that is a source of the problem because they don't know what to do with it. Right? Because look what the majority of them take the free money and do. Rent Airbnb, rent yourself, buy car, do this and do that. Because they are not programmed how to be financially responsible. And that's another part of the problem. That's another part of the problem. These TikTok and this especially TikTok, right? These people that are gifting these people need to take a step back. Exactly, Tracy. When you surround yourself with negativity, it's hard to get out of it, especially when you don't know you don't know any better, right? So this whole TikTok thing, because when I sit back and I start to analyze a lot of these people's behavior, I'm shaking my head and I'm like, oh my God, what is exciting about going to Mecca? How does your life surround being in a club? And this is, you know one thing I value very much with my mother. My mother taught me the love of books when I was a younger child. She taught me the love of books. And me tell you something. If you show on my library, on drop down, because me have books where me probably I got dead before me read them, right? She's not greedy enough, Fiona. She's addicted. All of them, every one of them, addicted to TikTok money because it is easy money. It is money when them. Look at Ivani. Ivani go up on OnlyFans, expose herself, and got paid for it. So when you get easy money where you can just turn on your computer and you sit down and or you open up your foot and so and get money, what does that do? And that is the problem. But the gist of my argument is that Jamaica needs to have more resources for people like Rosalie and other Rosalies that are out there, because there are many Rosalies out there, and part of that is why so many of our young... I saw a video circulating yesterday. I don't remember what the guy name, Those of you who saw it will probably remember. It starts with an I, intellect, or I don't remember what name. But it happened that this 15-year-old girl must run away and must be there in yard. And the father intends the guy must name, and the father find out where she did there. And the father say the child she has been running away from when her mother can't control her and all of these things, and him file for her from March, and the girl still don't want to be the girl don't want to change her ways. Right? Because society has become the place now where it is the norm. And this is the thing. Too many values have been broken down. We are now Jamaica, and not Jamaica, but me have to talk for Jamaica as a Jamaican. When I was a child, Jamaica was a place where a community raised children. Me have Mommy Linda, me have Granny, me have this one here, me have that the one there. So we could never go astray. The entire community looked out for you. It is not so anymore. It is not so anymore. Right, Italian Fiona, exactly, right? No, him claim say, the girl I'm friend. You are one big man. What kind of friendship you in with a 15-year-old girl? That she goes some man yard, and according to the story, the man put her out, and at your yard she come and she sleep at your yard, and you and she depend video a dance. If you are a grown-ass man, the first thing you would do, because you're not supposed to in a friendship with no 15-year-old girl, that the 15-year-old girl can come at your yard and sleep at your yard as a man. Right? 15-year-old girl come at your yard and she a friend and she said to you, said the man kick her out. You either take her, carry her, go back her yard, or you charter a transportation for send her to her yard. What she are doing at your yard on TikTok? These are the things that are happening. And he should be charged for child endangerment. Right? Because you are one big man. A 15-year-old come knock on your door. Knock, knock, knock. Right? And the 15-year-old have said to you, say, you know, me there my man yard, and my man put me out. And what do? You let her into your house? Huh? Oh, you mean, look here, whether I know say she are 15 or not, the whole point of the matter is, him gonna say him never know say she are 15, okay, so him never know say she are 15. But the right thing to do, you either carry her to her yard or you send her to her yard. Right? And I agree, Mad Green, it is shocking how many things are coming to the surface since Melissa. And that's so true. That's so true. Right? So and I agree that there are some young girls out there, based on their maturity with them breasts and them body and whatnot, you can't really tell them age, right? But I am saying, you as a man, and a woman come at your yard, come knock on your door and tell you say a man put her out, you find a safe space for her, right? But I get to understand that he ended up calling the police or that child, that 50, because when you see her, when you see how she going, you know, and when you hear the father talk, yes, it's when the father call him no. When you hear the father talk, you realize that that's a bad broke picnic. That the picnic they now need to be in some institution. That picnic now, the father need to get that picnic now and bust her ass, because that picnic is a problem child and she now go change. Because when I was listening and them I tell her say her father dead on the phone, she tell the people them say her father dead. Right? At 15, the father said she has been running away. When him all realized that she bore tongue and them something, and when him asked the mother go say what she can do about it. So you wanna see the cycle? Which part of me could have in my mother house at the age of 14 or 15 and me go bore tongue or bore ears in a Ufa house? You mad? Are you mad? So when the mother ever say what she do about it, it shows again it's going back to the cycle with the lack of proper parenting. Because if the mother ever say, I go tell the father say what she do about it, right? The father say him file for the girl from the filing come through from March, right? There are so many factors. You are right too, Debbie. There are other factors. You're right, You have a point. There are other factors that could contribute to her behavior as well, because she could have gone through some trauma too. Because with a mother like that now, we are going to say, what she feel about it if she bow her tongue and whatnot. It shows that it is not a mother that is responsible. So who knows what is going on in the home? You bring up a good point. There are other factors too. So you're right. Me not a judge her. You're absolutely right, my sister. Because the same thing went on with Rosalie. And we have so many of our children out there who are falling into this cycle. Right? We have so many of our young girls and boys too. Let us not forget about the boys. Boys too, because I think say only girls alone are go through this. You have men out there who are going through this too, who do not know how to love. Because you have many men out there who when it comes to women, all they have been taught is that you put a woman on her back, you get on top of her, you breed her, or you have fun with her, and that's it. That is all a woman is worth. So them not know no better. And until the society change its ways, right? Until the society change its ways, until we have our artists going out there singing songs to uplift women and uplift our young people, things aren't going to change, because a lot of these young people look on these people as role models. When did it become the norm that it is my vagina that defines me as a woman, that I have to get on stage and sing about my vagina and get her forward? When did it become to that point? When it did get to the point that in order for me to get her forward from a crowd as an entertainer and as a woman, I have to go on stage with something that is showing my ass, or something that is showing my vagina, or something that is showing my breast. The next thing we notice, women nowadays, all of them, the majority of them are walk, the whole of them breasts out a door. When did that become the norm? When did we as women put ourselves out there as objects of sex? That all that defines us is sex. That men should no longer look at us as having a brain, as having any form of intelligence. They should look at our bodies and say, yes, that me want. We have strayed from where we are supposed to be the ones to nurture, to show example. Back in my days, we have people like Colleen Davis, Cynthia Slash, and them people there. When them people they go up on stage, go sing, we were talking about talent, and them never go up on stage naked. When did that change? When did it become that woman have to walk with them vagina upon them forehead for define them? When did it become that woman have to walk with them breasts out a door for define them? And the sad thing is, when men take up these kind of women and use them, because them put themselves in the position to get used, and use them and left them, what them do? Them turn around and say the man them wicked. But if you put yourself out there as a mattress, and the men come and treat you as a mattress, where is your dignity and your pride? Right? So much has changed, and we need to get back to a time when respect, when we had respect for ourselves, when we had respect for those around us. When people can look at us and say, you know, I like the way you say things or whatever. We don't have to go out there. You know, when I people on social media know me from a long time, and you know, people who know me. But when I just started doing lives, many people come out and them talk about how Michelle ugly, or me look like this, or me look like that, and it didn't bother me, because that only shows the level of their illiteracy, right? It didn't bother me, and I am not going to change myself to fit into anybody's mold. But what it taught me was how narrow-minded. Because I'm not having the weave, because I'm not bleach out my skin, because I'm not show my breasts, right? But at the end of the day, Michelle not out here I live for nobody. Michelle out here I live for herself. And I am happy in my own skin. But we have to start doing better. Okay? We have to start doing better. And we have to realize that Rosalie and others like her need help. They need help. We can't just get up and bash them body shame her, them call her all kind of names, she this and she that. She needs help. And honestly, Jamaica needs to, I think the medical facilities in Jamaica need to start focusing seriously on mental health. Start focusing on the abuse of the mentally ill by other people, because by right, that woman named Ellie should, if she was doing to Karen and Sean what if she was doing that here in the United States, I guarantee she would be charged and arrested. She'll be arrested and charged, right? She would be arrested and charged, because that's abuse. That's abuse. And it is painful to see women sit there and laugh at these two people, right? How do you take your platform and put two persons who have issues on there for people to mock them and laugh at them and think that you are doing the right thing? No, something is literally wrong with you. Of course, she's exploiting them, and she should be arrested and charged for it. She should be arrested and charged for it. And the sad part of this is that she's working in a hospital and she does not have the compassion. So if she can do that to Sean and Karen, can you imagine what she's doing to people in the hospital where she works? And this is why, if me ever know which hospital she work up here, me personally I go report her, because she needs to be reported for it. That's abuse. And you are in the medical field. So how are you going to be in the medical field and you do not have compassion for two people who have mental issues? You drive up, you put them on camera and people laugh after them, and you sit in your car and feel like some blasted big shot, and then you in at the hospital, and I should have the expectation that if I come in that hospital as a patient, you are going to treat me fairly. No, you are sick. You are sick. And it's full time people start take actions with these things. She's exploiting these people and making money off of them, because Facebook appear. Facebook appear. Exactly, Kathy. Facebook appear. Right? I remember, Jules, I remember when PJ was trying to bring back values and attitudes in the society, and them shut it down. Them shut it down. And it's not only, there's this other girl, this other girl, when I see this boy, where she named Sheena, she must live with this old man. I can't remember what the guy named. But this boy, this little dirty boy of this girl when named Sheena, you can see, so the girl have mental issues, and this little dirty nasty boy of the people them and make a mockery out of them, and people sit down and appear, and people sit down and laugh at these things and don't tell them dirty people that say it wrong. This little dirty boy, I don't even know what his name. It's like nobody not have no empathy, nobody not have no compassion, nobody not have nothing anymore. Me grew up in a society where when I see people like this, you know, say me grew up in a community. We had I think he's still alive. Them used to call him Thank God Peter, because when you see him and you say morning Peter, evening Peter, thank God please ma'am, thank God please ma'am, thank God please sir. And that man, the story behind his illness was that he and his brother were altar boys at a Catholic church, and they must go into the church and thief the Bible. That was the story I grew up hearing. But this man at one point, you remember the old time call about them where the water thing used to live in a one of that, right? And I will never forget, there was he saved a young boy's life. There was a man coming from a place and he was driving a truck and the truck go over the wall and the young boy, his name was Jeffrey, was in the truck, and when the truck landed, Jeffrey landed on his stomach and Peter was the one that came and turned him over on him back so he never bleed out or whatever. But I talk about Peter to say this. That's one of the kindest man. Although he had his mental issue, that was one of the kindest man within the community. Right? We have to learn, we have to get back to compassion, to empathy. Right? Sometimes I'm scrolling through Facebook, I'm a buck up in a Ellis, and the way me see she do with it's like me just want to go through the phone and just drag her and beat her. How the hell you working? So if you do that, if you exploit them two people, the way you are doing a hospital as nurse or whatever, you no business in a healthcare. You're drunk, bro. How do you do that to people? Would you have liked it if anyone did that to anybody that was a family member of yours? And that's the thing people don't stop and think about. People don't stop and think about it. People don't look and say, how would I like to be treated if I get to that point? Because none of us knows what is going on in our lives. None of we don't know where going to go down the road tonight. What can happen down the road tomorrow. Look at Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs owned Apple. Steve Jobs died a millionaire, and when cancer licked him in the backside, you know what he said? He said on his dying bed he would have given up every cent we him have just to stay alive, because him realized with all of the millions we him have, that never save him. So none of we don't know where going to happen to it down the road. My granny used to say, today for me, tomorrow for you. We need to show love and compassion. People like Ellis needs to be locked away. They are dangerous to society. I don't even know if them have family. Tracy. I don't know if them have family, my sweetheart. It's just become the norm where you see it on Facebook, you see it on YouTube, you see it on TikTok, where people are taking these people who have mental issues. Thank you, Kathy. Exactly, the Bible said the heart of men get desperately wicked, and it's so true. It's so true. We don't have no more compassion. That same Peter, I remember as a child, my mother and my grandmother would cook, and at the time he was the type of person like this. You see, if you cook and I give him everything, you can't put it in him and you have to put it on the ground and give him and him take it up. But I learned about compassion and empathy when I saw my mother, my grandmother, my cousin, and other people within the community treating this man with respect, because even though him head never saw right, they treated him with respect. We couldn't laugh. We never laugh after him. And as much as he had mental issues, he looked out for every single child in that community. It's sad that what we have become, and you have people within the healthcare industry exploiting people who have mental issues, and then women sit on this platform and laugh and think it is funny. It is time for the powers that be. It is time for the government of Jamaica to start. And you say, no, since Melissa, the trauma that some people have faced, it has made it worse. It has made it worse. We need to get back to a time when we had empathy and we had compassion for others. We need to start setting example for young people, especially our young women, to let them know that they are more than just a vagina between them legs. They are more than just something for lay down pan them back for a man lay down pan. We have to start to teach our children values and attitudes. We need to get back to a time of simplicity. A time when we respect ourselves, when women respect them body. When me see some of them women here walk around, big grey back woman, the whole of them breasts, and I'm sitting there and I'm asking myself, when did we get to that stage? How did we get to that stage where your breasts, it's not something that you don't have to put on a brassiere anymore. And we glorify these things. This is why I say it every day. I am thankful for the way I was raised. Because now I know at 58 that I was raised right. And a lot of these women who are out here, they don't realize that that people, young people, are looking up to them and are following in their footsteps. Thank you, Tracy. But you see, the Prime Minister of Jamaica will never put his foot down. But this is I'm going to discuss that next week, because I have a lot for come to talk about next week. No, me did also want to touch today. I also wanted to touch. And, you know, there's a level of illiteracy and ignorance in Jamaica and among Jamaicans that a lot of time, I don't know, I don't understand. But I heard that the Prime Minister went to the cockpit country and visited Chief Curry and all of that. And I heard that he offered to have members of the Jamaica Defense Force go into the cockpit country to assist with the rebuilding of the area, after Hurricane Melissa. I heard Chief Curry came out and said that he is not willing to take the offer because he doesn't further want to traumatize. And if anybody want to call in, you can call in, Again, the number is 845-262-8653. He doesn't want to traumatize the residents there. And I can understand that, especially for children, it could be a little bit traumatic to see these soldiers walking around with guns and whatnot, right? But I am hearing some other arguments, and I'm gonna play. I heard that there was a protest, I think yesterday, and where some women were out there saying that they are divided, and they think that Richard Curry, who is the chief, is leaning towards the PMP, and that is why he has made the decision not to accept the JDF to help rebuild. But before I even play this, I want to ask a question. Now, why is it? Because when you look at Westmoreland, when you look at other parishes that were badly ravaged by Hurricane Melissa, why is it that the Prime Minister has not offered to have the JDF to work in these communities, to help build back these communities, but he has offered to utilize the JDF in the cockpit country? That tells me that there is something kind of fishy right there. It don't make sense, because if you are going to utilize the JTF for one area, then you should utilize the JDF for every area that needs assistance. But I am going to let you hear what some of these people have to say as it relates to Chief Richard Curry's decision not to accept the help of the Jamaica Defense Force. Give me a minute. Okay. Come on. Why isn't it? Aye. Give me a minute, guys.
Hold
on, give me a minute. Let me turn it down.
That's why we...
Hold on, guys. I hate this. Let me turn this down. Okay.
are the set apart people. Like how we're supposed to get help because we didn't vote for him. So we are passed out. Richard Curry don't buy nothing that big deal. And Richard Curry has too much $1 million. And you want to tell me say Richard Curry care about people. Richard Curry want people to live on the Chapaline. And he said the government can't send the JDF coming to give you material. Don't give them no material. But then they live on their Chapaline because the Chapaline is every Prime Minister. We don't need no light, no water, no hospital, no passport to go America for those and nothing coming here.
You are so basically what these women are saying is that since Richard Curry say the Maroons don't want the help of the JDF, basically Richard Curry has said them no need no help, so the Prime Minister not for bother coming there then, because if I saw Richard Curry say, then them no need no help. In other words, they are saying Richard Curry no have no right for say the JDF not supposed to come in the cockpit country. Now, when I speak of ignorance and illiteracy, because I was listening to something on YouTube on TikTok yesterday, and it had to do with the Maroons, and the question was asked if it is true. Somebody asked the question if it is true that the government wants to do mining within the cockpit country, and these people said no, it's a lie. But this is why I talk about ignorance. This is why I talk about ignorance and illiteracy, because these people yesterday talking and carrying on have yet to realize the significance of what I agree, Kathy. I think they were paid. Because when they were asked the question, give me a minute there. And hold on. When they were asked yesterday if the government of Jamaica, if the government of Jamaica planned wanted to do mining in the cockpit country, those people who some of them same woman here where I shout out, they said no. And I am saying to myself, how are you a Maroon and you have no clue what it is going on? Because it is in fact a fact that the government of Jamaica has moved to allow bauxite mining in parts of the cockpit country, granting leases despite significant opposition from Maroons, environmentalists, and locals who value the area for its biodiversity, right? And one of the mining company is a mining company out of Canada. So how can you be a Maroon and you don't? And I honestly, Kathy, I honestly feel that they were indeed paid to behave the way they did yesterday. Because if you are a Maroon, thank you, Kathy. If you are a Maroon and you value the Maroon land, then of course you would understand the value of that land to the government of Jamaica, which is the bauxite. So the only reason why the government of Jamaica is concerned about the cockpit country, is concerned about sending the JDF to go and help in that country, is to make sure that his concerns with the country, with the bauxite, with the cockpit country, which is the bauxite, is okay, right? And this is a problem with a lot of black people, them illiterate bad, because here is the man now, here is Chief Curry now, who understand. Of course he needed Kathy by any means. Here is Chief Curry now, who fully understands what it means, what the Prime Minister really wants and needs, why him choose to send the JDF in the cockpit country, because we're going to make it make sense. Make it make sense. Westmoreland and all of the other areas them that were devastated by Hurricane Melissa. The Prime Minister still not reached some of them yet, right? So how is it you don't sit down as Prime Minister and say, okay, I am going to have members of the Jamaica Defense Force, members of the police force go into every single community that needs help rebuilding to rebuild back? Why him only single out the cockpit country? And Chief Curry, as the chief, is saying that he realizes what the government wants. But here you have these people now coming out now under this saying that at the PMP Chief Curry want join side with. So how you don't even realize the value of your land, that you are willing to sit there and allow the government to come and take over your land for the backside? Do they know that the government has already signed leases? Let me tell you now, who the government, because this, let me tell you now. So, all right. Now, when me hear when me see them clip here, and me hear the whole heap of noise, the whole heap of noise where them are making a go on, and I'm sitting and I'm saying to myself, look at this level of illiteracy, because now them come out and I say Curry, them no want Curry, Curry this and Curry that, and them have to get rid of Curry and this and that and Austin and comfort. But here is what they don't realize: the Jamaican government has signed mining agreements primarily with Northern Jamaica Bauxite Partners, a joint venture with New Day Aluminum for bauxite mining in and around the ecologically sensitive cockpit country, particularly under Special Mining Lease 173, facing significant legal and community opposition from Maroons and environmentalists due to threats to water, land, and ancestral heritage. So how is it that these same people want to hear and make nice against Chief Curry? When asked the question, is it true that the government plans to do bauxite mine, them are going to say no. So you see, basically them don't know what them are talking about. This are the level of illiteracy when me are telling about, and this is why I keep saying, a whole heap of Jamaican with our voting rights should have been able to sit down and pass an IQ test before they are allowed to vote. Because when you hear them people are come and make a bag of nice, and you hear them make a bag of nice, and they do not understand the complexity of what is going on and what Curry is doing to try to protect their heritage and their land. So the people come and we pay you, go out there, go demonstrate against Curry, and they don't even realize they're demonstrating against their own rights. But I want to ask the Prime Minister a question, because I am still confused about a couple things. Thing number one, on November the 4th, a British naval ship landed at Falmouth in Jamaica. And on that ship were drones, tents, blankets, members of the British military, whatever you call it, to help to rebuild communities destroyed by Hurricane Melissa. Where are those drones? Where are those tents? Where are the little rescue boats that were on the ship that should be used to take persons who are stranded in communities since Melissa, to take them to safer places? Where is it? Thing number two, before we heard about that plane crash with Andrew Worm with the man that was bringing the relief supplies to Jamaica and the plane crash. He had already been in Jamaica 4 times delivering relief supplies. Who received those supplies that Darrell Vaz was not aware of the fact that supplies, that same gentleman had already brought supplies to Jamaica? Where are those supplies? Where are the supplies from Japan? Where are the supplies from China that these people that were sent to help these people who need it? If were it not for volunteers like Andre Stevens, Spice, and the rest of Jamaicans who have stepped up, do Jamaicans realize that the situation would have been worse? What is the government doing about the leptospirosis that is on the rise? Why is it that, what is it now? What, 2 months? Why is it that how long after Melissa, there are people still in shelters with no place to go? How is it that I am seeing that there is a grant for, I think, is what, 300,000, but you have to be a past member of the National Housing Trust or be a member of the National Housing Trust to get that grant? How are those persons who did not own land, who never have a land title, who never own homes, how are they going to rebuild? And why is it taking so long? Because common sense dictates, people, that if supplies have entered into Jamaica, relief supplies have entered into Jamaica that are supposed to be used to assist those who need it, and the people are not seeing it, those supplies have to be housed somewhere. Where are they housed? Why are they housed there? And why is it that they are not being utilized for the purpose they're there for? But my bigger question to Mr. Holness is, you came out, I think, 2 weeks ago, and you said that there are over 30 Israeli doctors in Jamaica who are in Jamaica to assist with those who are sick and whatnot. Where in Jamaica are those Israeli doctors? What hospitals are they working in? How is it nobody can come out and say we have 2 of these Israeli doctors in this hospital, we have 4 of these Israeli doctors in that hospital? Where in Jamaica are those Israeli doctors situated? Are they really Israeli doctors? Because questions, you see this whole aftermath with Hurricane Melissa, it has brought a lot of things to the surface. One of the things it has brought to the surface, when the Prime Minister is going to say that he's going to now make it illegal for Jamaicans to utter certain things. Now he wants to trample on freedom of speech, right? But Mr. Holness, I don't think you realize, and I don't think a lot of Jamaicans even realize that the Andrew Holness-led government is slowly but surely taking Jamaica into an era of dictatorship. I don't know how many of you watch or even see clips of what is taking place in the Parliament, in the House of Parliament, when you see the Speaker of the House, which she should never have been in that position to begin with, which is Juliet Holness. Every time a Nikisha Burchell, every time a member of the opposition needs to speak or ask questions, she shuts them down. Right? I don't think Jamaicans begin to see what is going on, because what Hurricane Melissa has done is to push an agenda that this Prime Minister has even faster. That is why he finds himself in the cockpit country. Why is it that there are land investors already in places like Westmoreland and other communities that have been devastated by Hurricane Melissa so readily willing to purchase land from these people? What is going on? And it is time for Jamaicans to wake up and open their eyes. Your prime minister is taking you down a road of dictatorship. And when him go come out and say, him not afraid of nobody, what he needs to realize is that nobody not afraid of him either. And I saw a clip today where a police officer in a courthouse was saying, if you don't want to come here and stand in front of a judge, do not disrespect your prime minister. Really? I wonder if the prime minister of Jamaica completely understands that he works for the people of Jamaica, that the people of Jamaica are essentially his boss. I wonder if you know what the problem is with a lot of Jamaicans. They do not know the Constitution. They do not know their rights. And that is the problem why this man can get up and behave the way he does. That is the problem why the Speaker of the House is sitting in that seat and can behave the way she does. But it is time for the People's National Party to stand up. Actively stand up and stand against what is taking place. If the Prime Minister of Jamaica can go to Israel and cannot divulge the reason why he went to Israel, that's a problem. When the Prime Minister was in Jamaica, of Jamaica was in Israel in 2017, he told Benjamin Netanyahu that he would grant asylum to over 300 Israelis that were in Jamaica. How did they reach Jamaica? Where in Jamaica? Because if he's going to grant them asylum, it means they're there illegally. That same year, former Minister of National Security Bobby Montague came out and said the Jamaican government is going to grant asylum to over 300 to 2,000 illegal immigrants. Where do these immigrants come from? Because when the Haitians them come in, we can't say where them come from, because when the Haitians them come in, them show them up and them send them back. So we cannot say those illegal immigrants are from Haiti. Where are they from? Another thing I'm going to touch again, I touched it before. 3 days after the general election in Jamaica, computer, everything shut down. Were any of those who were granted amnesty or whatever it was they were granted in Jamaica allowed to vote? I'm going to say this, Jamaica has, and I keep saying this, and one thing I blame the People's National Party for, and is that for the many years that you were in power, you should have made it known, you should have made Jamaica's political history known to Jamaicans, right? Because Jamaicans there are many Jamaicans to this day who are not aware that the Jamaica Labour Party under Bustamante, under Siaga, were ultimately responsible for the genocide of thousands of Jamaicans. A lot of Jamaicans do not know that it was under the order of Edward Siaga that his members of his shower posse went into Bakawal, which is now called Tivoli, burn out the PMP them out of it and turn it into Tivoli. They don't talk about that. A lot of Jamaicans are not aware that it was under Edward Philip George Seaga that guns and ammunition entered into Jamaica via his program called Spring Plains. A lot of Jamaicans are not aware of the fact that Edward Philip George Seaga was in bed with one of the biggest Israeli mobsters known as Eli Tisonai, who served, I think, I don't know if he's still serving time, but who was on a federal lockup here in the United States of America. In the Edward Seaga era, the CIA worked along with Mr. Seaga to destabilize Jamaica. That destabilization is coming back slowly and surely under Andrew Holness. And Jamaicans refuse to see what is going on. Let it make sense. We're into, 2 months now? Is it 2 or whatever now after Hurricane Melissa? And yet volunteers still have to be taking water and food to persons who are still sleeping under the stars. But the Prime Minister can go to the cockpit country and say he will allow members of the Jamaica Defense Force to help to rebuild the cockpit country. So what about the other communities? Are they not significant to Jamaica as well? Jamaicans need, you see, in order for people to know where they are going, they have to know where they are coming from. I've said this already and I'll say it again. I was one of the biggest labor rights supporters on this social media. Who know can tell you no. And I went and I educated my ignorance. And when I educated myself, I came away in shock to think that I could have sat and defended a political movement that was responsible for the death and genocide of hundreds of my people. We are now in an era where information is readily at hand. Go and educate yourselves. The truth is there. The same way when Seaga used to marry flour and saltfish and dump rice and them things that when people needed it, we don't think I go on with enough of the supplies them now where they help the people them. This government is going to take Jamaica and Jamaicans into a situation because let common sense prevail. You are the prime minister of the country. You go to a country like Israel and you go back to Jamaica and you cannot even divulge. Let me not say to the public because say certain things, you can't say to the public, but you cannot even divulge to the opposition. And that is acceptable? How can that be acceptable? How is that acceptable? And your answer when asked the question, you're going to say, it is matter of national security. What kind of national security can you be involved with Israel that not even the opposition PMP can know about it? And another thing I want to bring up, this argument about the government loaning Jamaica public service money. Let me ask this question. Do Jamaicans really know who owns JPS? That's the first question I'm going to ask you now. Of course, it's coming back, Cathy, but they don't realize it. Because I'm going to show you guys how something don't make sense. Now, the Jamaican government is said to be making a loan to JPS. I don't remember how much. I think 150 million or something like that. Now, I'm going to ask a question. And I'm going to say, a lot of Jamaicans do not know that the Jamaican government only has a 19% share in JPS. 19%. The biggest shareholders of Jamaica Public Service are Marubeni Corporation out of Japan and Korea East West Power out of Korea. Now here is where it don't make sense. Marubeni Corporation has a 40% stake. Korea East West Power has a 40% stake. Okay? But here is where it gets tricky. And me go show you when it makes sense. Hold on there. You spell it. I think I did put it in. Give me a minute there, guys. I just look for something. No, give me 1 minute, guys. Just 1 minute. Me just try find what I look for. Because me go show you something when I make no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. 1 minute. Because I posted it. All right. Give me 1 minute. I wish I put it, man. 1 minute there, guys. Just bear with me a little bit. Just get. I want to think, you know. So I just want to show you something. I just want to prove something to you. Because you see, when me talk, I love show proof. Because this argument, come on, Michelle, come on. Where is it? You know, guys, give me 1 minute. Let me write here. So make me an idiot too, you know. Because me write here so the computer. And give me 1 minute there. Just 1 minute, guys. Me not going away. Because let me say I want to not think. But me want to know, when I think, I love go the facts. When I saw me stay, you know. Alright. I saw me stay. Right there. Come on. 1 minute there, guys. Just give me bear with me a little bit, because I want to think. Marubeni. All right. I just go with one. No, don't follow me, guys. No, the government of Jamaica is supposed to lend Jamaica Public Service $150 million in order for them, you know, get electricity and whatnot back up in Jamaica really quickly. Now, I just told you that there are two companies that have shares in JPS. The Jamaican government have the least shares, which is 19%. Marubeni company has 40%, and then the Korea West company out of Korea has the other 40. So that makes it 80. The government has the rest of that. Now, how can the government, which has the least shares in the company, lend to the persons who have the greatest shares $150 million, I think it's US dollars, when one of the company, Marubeni, Marubini's net worth is between 44 to 45 billion US dollars. Let me repeat myself now because I want it make sense. Marubeni, one of the companies that has 40% stake in JPS, has a net worth of over between 44 to 45 billion, not million, billion US dollars. But the Jamaican government need to lend them 150 million US dollars. Let it make sense. Let it make sense. And this company, Marubeni, is a major player in global trade, involved in various sectors like energy, metals, chemicals, food, and real estate, influencing its broad valuation, right? As of December 5th, 2025, Marubeni is worth 44.95 billion US dollars. Let me repeat myself. As of December 5th, 2025, Marubeni is worth $44.95 million. So this same company, which holds 40% share in Jamaica Public Service, is worth 44.95 billion US dollars, but the Jamaican government needs to lend them money. Let me tell you how much the other one is worth. The other one is worth the other one is worth 44 billion US dollars. Okay? So guys, me go now homework. I wanna go figure it out for me because me go use fit on the brain. So me want me go this on homework, and then when we come back next week, me want to tell me what makes sense and don't make sense. So let me repeat it slowly and surely so you understand where Michelle come from. The Jamaican government has said that it is loaning 150 million US dollars to JPS so that JPS can work faster to put back things together in Jamaica after Hurricane Melissa. Okay? Now, the Jamaican government does not own JPS. Marubeni and Northwest Korea Electric Company, they own Jamaican JPS because they are the biggest shareholders in JPS. Marubeni has 40% stake. Korea Northwest have 40% stake, right? Marubeni has a net worth of 45 billion US dollars. Korea Northwest, the same thing. All right. So why would it be necessary that the companies that have the biggest shares in JPS, that these two companies, the company will have the littlest shares, which is Jamaican government, will have 19% shares, would have to turn around and give these companies 150 US dollars. Let it make sense. So me gonna ask you because you have to utilize on the brain to some want that on homework. Come back, come tell me what in that makes sense, line out how it makes sense and why it makes sense. All right, guys? Because I'm going to say this again and I'm going to finish up. The CM destabilizing program where Siaga did put Jamaica under, it's the same destabilizing program that Andrew Holness is putting Jamaica under. But this time, it is a different playmaster. Before, the playmaster was the CIA. The next playmaster now is Israel. And when you see countries like America and Canada and other countries are upset with the Jamaican government because of the stance that the Jamaican government has taken with Israel, you know something is afoot. Because where Jamaica is right now, because what I'm going to tell you right now, if Jamaica for any reason should go at war, our allies, because of Jamaica's connection with Israel right now, and certain stance that Jamaica has taken where Israel and the Gaza and all them things that is going on, if Jamaica should go at war right now, the countries that would usually back Jamaica like the US and Canada will not do so. All right? Open on the eyes, people. Open on the eyes. My grandmother always says, actions speak louder than words. Does the actions of the Jamaican Prime Minister tell Jamaicans that he has the best interest of country and people at heart? No, it does not. I will continue this conversation next week. I want to thank everyone for joining me. God bless you. Those of you who have not done so, I'm asking you please to subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link is on my Facebook page, on my Michelle Bradshaw page, and on the Shelley Bradshaw page. And before I close, again, let me go back to how I started this. The issue, we cannot just say that it is Donna Gau's cake that is killing people. She is wrong for not labeling her cakes correctly, and she needs to come out and offer an apology. But we need to be mindful of what we're taking into our bodies. We need to be mindful of the things we eat. We need to be mindful of the things we are utilizing, and we need to understand what is going on, and we need to not, when we are given information, it should not be given in a closed box. It should be given in a wide box so people can comprehend and understand the complexity of things that are happening. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed Sunday night. God bless you all. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you next week. Bye.